Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right. Unfortunately, I did not really bode well with the Houston area, and actually, I should have said Peter Shit Show. I'm going to be leaving Houston a little bit earlier than expected. I ran into difficulty with my hostel, but you know what? I found a really nice park to make one last video and take one last hike. What had happened was yesterday after the date. Um, it was not an out of the ordinary date or anything like that, but she lives so far away. And I was just heartbroken. I very seldom make it that far with a girl, and probably not really relationship material, but I was still heartbroken. And so when I got back to the apartment, I really didn't want to have anything to do with anybody. I just wanted to hide out. And in retrospect, I probably should have expected this and chose my lodging situation a little bit more appropriately. But I stayed in a hostel because I thought it would be a good way to network with even more people. In retrospect, it was a mistake. And when I got back to the hostel, I'll let you Google this. This hostel is in downtown Houston. There's a lot of diverse racial backgrounds and people of all ages, different backgrounds. And when I got back to the hostel, number one, it was noisy, but I thought that's no big deal. I'm gonna hide out in my bed. I had a top bunk in the room, and this guy, as soon as I got comfortable, this guy starts barking that I had placed my coat on his favorite chair, and that I should get up to move it. And I told him that could you please, I'll get up to get it, but could you please keep the energy level down? I'm just coming off of a heartbreak kind of situation, and could you please keep the energy level down? And he wanted nothing. In fact, he deliberately caused me even more grief when he heard that. And I don't know if I overshared a little bit too much. I should have just said I'm unwell without sharing the details, but I think he could have cared less either way. And I got up to move the coat, and I stormed back into my bed, and then I put on some earplugs and I tuned him out. Later that night at 2, 3 in the morning, he comes waking me up again, saying that he couldn't find his cell phone. Screaming as if I had stolen his cell phone or something. He said that I record with my cell phone a lot, that I probably picked up the wrong one or something like that. Uh, and he starts screaming like crazy. And then after he found it, he then made a number of threatening gestures. And finally, I he had gestured with this a glass bottle on his hand. I reached out to grab the glass bottle, and then I jumped off the bunk bed. Fortunately, the owner of the place came back to intervene, and all of us just kind of played dumb because we didn't. It was 2 in the morning. We didn't want to be kicked out of there, and but we all just played dumb. It was misunderstanding. And fortunately, none of us got kicked out of there. And then this morning, I made a mistake this morning. I was trying to make a peace offering to the whole situation, and I complimented this guy on how nice a vape pen he had. He took it the wrong way. He took it like I was offended by his habit, and so he once again made a number of threatening gestures, and that's when I ran out of there. And here I am at this beautiful park. I think it's Jesse H. Jones Park. And I'll take one last hike and record a couple more videos. But my dreams of living in Phoenix just completely got dashed with all of the experiences of the last couple of days. Now, I was really heartbroken because when I did the math, it's not like I'm going to come visit her very often. And plus, our relationship isn't even at a level that would justify. I would probably look crazy if I did that. And so when I left her yesterday, I felt so heartbroken. And her mother had came to pick her up. I had a good conversation with her mother, too. Very seldom do I get along with family members, right? And so I was really heartbroken. And unfortunately, here in America, we have a very individualistic
culture, right? In fact, my roommate probably, even though I was heartbroken, he was probably jealous that I even got to see anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if his reaction was more of a jealousy than anything else, right? He didn't see the girl. He doesn't know who she is or what she looks like. But he was probably jealous I even got to see anybody, because during the time I was there, I overheard him talking on the phone, and he was very upset with his family. And my guess is that he's single. Now, last semester I teach at a community college. Last semester I had two girls in the class who were constantly in disagreement over some guy, and eventually I kind of gestured to them to kind of sit separate from each other because I knew that was eating the best of them alive. And unfortunately, that's the kind of drama that I see a lot. Actually, the girl I saw yesterday, her coworkers were cheering her on to make the best of it. And actually, one of her coworkers, I later learned, one of her coworkers um, waited around in the general area in case she had to take like a pretend emergency and leave, right? And so that was really good of them. It was very supportive. I very seldom see that on my end in my dating adventures, right? And sometimes I, I see a lot of drama unfold around me as well, like in my classroom among my coworkers. All right, let's pray. Well, here's what we can pray for, right? At least I have a friend that I can talk to online. I probably won't come back to see her in the near future. Our chemistry just isn't up there that it would justify that, right? And uh, also, you know what? If I can do it one time, maybe I can do it again and meet somebody else, right? After all, I met her all because I asked her to dislike the profile, and that's my I like doing that anyway, so why not do it again, right? And hopefully next time she'll live somewhere that I have business being in, right? And I really like the way I handled it, even though I ended up leaving the hostel. I'm not too displeased with how I handled it. I straight up told him I'm already having a heartbreaking situation. Would you please keep it down? And and he had to threaten me with, maybe he was jealous. I should have just said I'm unwell. I really need some rest. Maybe that could have been better. I shouldn't have said the heartbreak. That was dumb on me. I'll give myself that. I think the reason I said the heartbreak was because I learned that she had her coworkers supporting her on the date. I wanted that too, and I didn't realize that some of the people just aren't receptive to that. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Shit Show. Bum 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 bum.